Everybody, it's Randall back with another video. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about different generations. You see, in World War II, the government put a lot of initiatives in place. One was a paper drive. It was essentially people recycling paper to help the war effort. Same thing with tires with the rubber drive. People recycled rubber to help with the war effort so that America was not using too much of its resources. You can actually, if you go online on YouTube, I'm willing to bet, if you typed in 1940s newsreels, you'll see footage of kids bringing tires to gas stations. Something else that they did during that time was they had rolling blackouts. Essentially, what would happen would be in your neighborhood, your city, you would have a marshal, a volunteer who would go around to different streets and say, hey, you got to have your lights out, it's 10 p.m. And this was done because there was fear about, another attack like in Pearl Harbor. They didn't know if the Japanese had the ability to fly planes over the U.S. and strike targets. So what the government says, like, look, we're going to have these rolling blackouts. All we need you to do is just turn off your lights for X period of time. This even was in the big cities. And if you did not comply, you got fined, you got penalized. And, you know, Americans were told that this sacrifice, this small sacrifice, was to keep their countrymen safe. They complied. Not because it was what the government told them to do. They did it, once again, to protect their fellow countrymen. They weren't selfish at all. They did it for love of country. They did it to honor the stars and stripes. They were patriots. You people out there protesting because you can't go to your favorite eatery because it's been closed because of an edict by the governor of your state, you're not patriots. You're not fighting tyranny. You have proven that we've gone from the greatest generation to the me generation, the generation of selfishness. Flash forward 70 years. 70 years ago, man, we would make these sacrifices. We would make these sacrifices with honor. We would make these sacrifices because we had pride in country. Now we're upset that we can't go get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, go on our Wi-Fi and play Angry Birds or something. We're upset because we can't go to our hairdresser. Look, I would love to go to a record store, but I know that's not happening while this is going on. Am I out there protesting? Am I upset? No, because I know that once we get through this, and we will get through this, life will return to somewhat back to normal, and I'll be able to go to a record store. I'm not putting my needs in front of others. I'm not being greedy. I'm not being selfish. I'm not out there saying, let's sacrifice the weak. You see, what's going on right now is that generation I talked about before, they are watching us and they are weeping. They made the sacrifices we can't. If you're going out there and engaging in all these protests saying that the shutdown's illegal, you're telling everybody you don't care about your loved ones, you care about yourself. Protesters holding signs, you people are just ignorant, in my opinion. There's no tyrannical force afoot. Your rights are not being trampled upon. Not even the right to make an ass out of yourself, because that's one right you seem to be flexing quite well. I've made this video several times and I've deleted this video several times because I've never said, it's never encapsulated what I want to get across. I've always let emotion get a hold of me. And this is a subject that's kind of hard not to be emotional about, because when I see people out there upset that they can't dine in, and they call it, the government being tyrannical, it's not how this goes. You realize you probably could have been through this already. All you had to do is make a simple sacrifice. The simple sacrifice your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents made. They literally sat in the dark night after night. No lights, no radio, nothing. And you can't even make the sacrifice of not going to your hairdresser. Like I said, I'm trying not to get overly emotional making this video, because I cannot express enough how disgusted I am every time I see somebody out there saying, I want to go to my hairdresser. It's not fair that this place is closed down. No thought. No no thought of anybody else. We truly are a selfish people, and it needs to stop. Hopefully, that is one thing that will change after this coronavirus pandemic is over. That's all. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.